Yes, Footy Friends, boys, how are we?
Deal, good to be back
how
here,
are
mate.
you, my friend?
Fantastic,
Jeez,
thank
you're
you.
looking good.
Thanks, mate. I'll shape up.
Boys, has he got a bit of a glow after his
big
first
glow.
deal?
Does he look
signed.
Is that another new watch or is it the same one?
Same one from 2015.
Yeah, congratulate. Talk us through it. Cam Zerha.
Yeah,
what
Cam
$1 million
Zerha.
a year, is it?
No, not quite. No. But very happy that Big Clarko's on board at the Roos, and that's a nice little 2-year deal. So. Yeah, interesting though, going through the negotiations and understanding what you can, what you can't say, and just learning the back and forth of it all was a real eye-opener, but loved it, mate. Yeah, it gets the blood
Good
pumping.
first
Max
one to
Sports
get.
as well, doing the best that they can.
Yeah,
don't they,
Max
Sports?
Sports doing big things, Train.
They are.
Number one on your...
Favourite
How
companies.
do you think you two would go in a contract negotiations?
Well, I
I'll tell you
know.
what, I didn't have much to negotiate when I was going in.
Well, you need someone that's going to fight for you. You know, I want to know what can't you say.
Well, you don't just go in at a real low price for one, or you don't go in too ridiculously high. You know, and then you've got media types that are just hounding you the whole way through. You know,
so your
like
phone's
Buckley.
blowing up saying, "How's it going?
Yeah,
How's
what's
it going?"
going on here? Can you give me the inside scoop? It's like, that'll go down real well. I'm sure Cam will be pumped.
Yeah. Did we talk about this last? I think we spoke about this last week, but I've been seen with Fremantle, and I reckon they are the smartest, trickiest players in trade talks. I think I said this last week, but I reckon they went for Brayshaw knowing they were never going to really get him, just to force the hand for that, so they get Jackson.
Yep.
Is there tricks like that clubs play? Like, is there a bit of
It's
silly,
incredible
silly
foresight
business?
to try and do that, I suppose. I
Yeah.
think you probably narrow in on what your list needs and then how you can go about it. They'd ask a question about Brayshaw for sure because they want him to play with his brother and he's a good player. But I don't know. I think you might be drawing a long bow, but I like your theory.
Thank you.
And I liked your theory.
Thank you.
I went with it on 3 other stations.
Yes.
Better go to fly.
I was like, oh, well, I've been thinking about this actually. And,
Did you get some? That's a good point.
they're
Mick.
like, it's a great point. So they've made Melbourne commit to Brayshaw, and that opens up the door for Jackson, and Jackson probably can't stay. And they're like, great.
Yeah.
And then I went to the next commitment, said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I love that.
And the cafe did the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, boys, before we get into the show, I do want to say, so on Friday night, Big Brettles can't make it, but Horse Teeth, Sheridan, Mick Barlow and myself going to be at the Arcadia Hotel, number 2, Toorak Road, South Yarra, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Now, there's going to be a live show pre the Brisbane Geelong game. We're going to the pub, going to have a beer, going to do a bit of a preview of the final. Then everyone can piss off, get to the footy. Also, really excitingly, at the same time, through the Dylan Friends minis and whatnot, we've been organising a bit of an eating contest. So there's going to be 4 people.
Yes.
We've got 2 locked
Who's
in
the
already.
favourite?
Stuart and Dylan. No, not us. You boys can get in if you want.
Looking forward to this.
It's as many chicken wings as you can get in 30
I'll
minutes.
tell you what,
wings?
Tommy would have
It's just chicken wings.
Tommy would have taken it if it was a lollies.
Yeah.
He used to packets of lollies. Just
I've been off them lately.
Yeah.
because I'm trying to get back in the gym and routine. They're no
Yeah.
good for you. But yeah,
Mother
back to
shit.
the, what's the like? Is there a time limit?
30 minutes. So while we're doing the show, we're doing the preview, there'll be 4 people eating chicken wings in the most they can eat in 30 minutes to the side of us. They will be winning a nice little Ricks pack. I hope that's okay with you. I've
Rick's
sort of
Island.
guaranteed that.
Yeah, got some new sunnies on there, so we're giving the Tribecers, I reckon.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. Bloke in a bar on tap will
Put
be
them on,
beautiful.
Dylan. They actually look good on the fresh fade. You got a fresh fade there. You're
Yeah, I
looking
do.
sharp. Have a look at
Well,
you.
that's a migraine in a box. That's beautiful.
For anyone that wants to look like
Love
Dylan,
that.
remember the Dylan Friends code's active, or Aces if you can't
Is it?
spell.
Yes. What have we got? 20%?
Yeah, 20% and free express shipping coming
Oh,
from
we
Perth,
love
so
that
they'll be there in 2 days.
Absolutely stunning.
That'll be good.
Can,
so
can
how many
vouch for
wings
that
do you...
actually. Because I just got a pair of blue lights.
Yes.
Didn't have a fresh pair of those ones in there, but the blue lights, Rick Steele worked a treat and they turned up 2 days.
Yeah, that's great. I love hearing that because WA to Vic is obviously the hardest.
way.
It's the longest.
and if you
place.
guarantee something in 2 days, like you love hearing that. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, well, sometimes you oversell it. That could be 3 days.
So that's it. Winners get a daft kit. Dylan Friends, Rick's locked in. Bloke in a bar on tap. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So please get down to the Arcadia Hotel in South Yarra on Friday night.
How many were you expecting, Dill?
Oh, get there early because.
I reckon the Melbourne Storm boys who are doing their Mad Monday across the road.
Yeah,
will
if you
still
can
be
hear
going.
some profanity, by the way, it's not us. We have the Melbourne Storm boys who unfortunately got knocked out on the weekend. They're across the road having their Mad Monday, which should be exciting for them.
No, that'll be a good day for
What
them.
was your favourite part about Mad Monday? Like a segment. There's always one segment.
I love the poems.
I've got not my favourite, but I remember 2011 we had a horrendous year. A shit-house year. Were you there yet?
Oh, we played a final that year.
No, 2011.
You wouldn't have been there
Oh,
yet.
year
2012.
before.
we got
Yeah,
there.
We fell
that
off the
was
cliff at the
12.
end.
Wrong year.
Harves gets sacked. Ross comes in. But we rocked up at the Mad Monday in outfits, like in costume. The CEO, Steve Rossich, walked in half an hour in, said, boys, you had a pretty shit year. Go home and get changed and just come back in your civilian clothes.
Oh, my God. That's so good.
We said, fair point.
It's so good.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing matching pajamas with Nick Lower.
Oh,
a good
that's
mate of
great,
mine.
eh?
Do you know what I love
D1.
the most is Kane Corns. That's been my favourite person in footy media at the moment. What he was saying, and look, I don't even really agree with it, but I love the hype around like the Essendon going on, like the whole list going to Ibiza, and when they were saying, the Essendon players want to have a choice in picking their coach, and Kane Corns just piped in saying, "Oh, did they send this via message from Ibiza?" Like, he doesn't miss.
No,
I
he
fucking
doesn't.
love it. It's so good, so good.
Wow.
Lids, I know you've had a big week with Zerha doing this, that, and everything. Mick, what's happening with you, my friend? You and Tommy actually went to the Fremantle game on the weekend. A couple of alumni members.
Tommy, unashamed, love his tenacity.
Yeah, tenacity.
Straight as soon as Freo were in the MCG final, he messages Callie Black, who runs events at Freo.
Big shout out to
us some
Callie. She's a
tickets.
superstar.
a
And she'll be
legend.
listening.
But anyway, she fired up Tommy to be the MC at a function. So Tommy gave me the run sheet when I got to the function. He said, Mick, they've just got me down MCing, but I reckon we kind of get up there and we do a bit of toing and throwing. So I said, no worries, Train. So Tom was meant to be MC, and I said, I'll just kick us off, Train. I'll get us started. I'll get the juices flowing for the crowd. Got up there for 5 minutes. I threw to Tom for 10 seconds, something really short and unrelated question about Dave Mundy. And then I wrapped it up and walked off. So, Train, I didn't really contribute much in the MC.
I
So
He's
you've
a-
gone there to be the MC and not even MC.
I go, Mick, can you help me out? And he's hijacked it. And then I had to interview Mick at part of the run sheet. So I said, right, here's my time to shine.
So you just stood there with a mic in
At
your
the
hand.
start,
not
I did. At the start, it was really awkward. I look, g'day, guys. We'll see you in 10 minutes. I was like, what's going on there, Mick?
But we went to the Freo game. Freo got absolutely smoked. But I think it was more Collingwood being really good, and we can get to that a bit later on.
Yeah, we will. It was funny. Like it wasn't a terrible game, but the class of footy at the moment, that was a woeful to watch that
see what
after
we've
what we've
seen.
seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
to what we've seen.
100%.
Mick, just quickly as well, because you are the king of this. Obviously, a VFL coach at Werribee. VFL final this week. I watched both games on the weekend. Did you boys watch it? Well, Casey versus Brisbane, which was so weird.
Didn't see it.
Because it's a final, obviously, but the night before was the seniors playing against each other in a final, and then they played again in a final. Day after Southport versus Gold Coast.
Yeah, so 3 Queensland sides in
That's
the
huge.
yeah, which is a great effort. But Casey far too good for Brisbane, and Casey kind of definitely the ones to beat.
Yeah.
And Southport versus Gold Coast yesterday. 16 people, players and some staff, have been delisted or sacked by the Suns that now are associated with Southport. So I think it's like 12 or 13 players and then 3 or 4 coaches.
So we've got Jacob Townsend, Billy Gowers, Tom Fields.
Billy Gowers wasn't. No, he was... Oh, so that's who they've got.
sorry,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
been actually from the Suns.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
been cut and then they go to
So,
Southport.
Right.
But it'll be a big game. It's Sunday, the grand final. Southport, they've got a lot of players, and this with all due respect, like the players that are really good VFL or state league players that just never kind of transition to the next level. So we talked Billy Gowers, Jacob Townsend played 4 clubs, won a premiership, all of that. Jacob Dawson, who might win, there's the JJ Liston medal tonight.
You got a little fella, was you tagger back at the Suns?
Yeah, he played a bit of back pocket, bit of mid. Now
Yeah,
he
he
just gets 40
used to try and
possessions.
tag me at Giants.
Oh, I think he actually... That game we played together, Mick had 45.
I had 45, and then I had to catch a plane really quickly after. When the siren went, this is kind of how our careers were, was
Yeah.
the siren sound. I reckon the last quarter went for 35 minutes. I was like, I got to get going here. And then Bess bolted to the rooms, didn't even shower, straight to the airport.
No
for
shower
some
bow.
reason. But anyway, VFL grand final.
Just on this as well,
Sunday.
before he goes, Southport's got those players deal. We're talking about this down at the cafe. With all due respect, just those players like yourself that sort of, we're good, but just not good enough, sort of thing. I'm like, it's fantastic. No. And that's the coach in him now. Just that
the drive
direct
by.
feedback.
Did I not say with
said,
all due respect?
With all due respect, and that cancels out any offence.
that's
You say
fine.
whatever
That's
you
not
want.
If you want to
disrespectful.
offend someone, when you say with all due respect, you were shit.
Yeah, no offence.
That's then fair enough. So I obviously didn't
With all
take.
due respect to Cracker.
I didn't take any offence to that because he gave the due respect to me.
Just with
I
all
didn't
due
take-
respect to Billy Gowers. and
Yeah,
Jacob.
yeah, no, it's great. And
So
you're-
who are you tipping? Because you've been...
I'd like Southport to win. The standalone story, there's probably 7 or 18 AFL listed for Casey would be bloody impressive.
Huge. Just
sorry,
shout
Mick.
through a couple of them that are playing,
Yeah.
as we said, on that list, because there's like so many ex-AFL players playing there.
So Boyd
Seb
Woodcock.
Tate, is he still there?
Yeah, Seb Tate. Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis.
He holds the record from his games played in the AFL outside of World Wars. Like from his last in his first
Oh my
stint
God, yeah, right.
to his first in his second stint. It's like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, right.
It's impressive.
But yeah,
So
good,
they're
they're a
packed.
good side.
Yeah.
They're a good
I'm going to
side.
head down. That's on Sunday at Icon Park.
Shout out to Big Adam Tomlinson, one of our former teammates playing as well for Casey Demons. So hopefully he can go all right. And Matty Buntine.
Yeah, Matty Buntine. Yeah, I think there's going to be. I watch both games, as I said. I think Casey are just. I'm sort of in the same as you. I'm going for the standalone Southport, but Casey just look unbelievable. Ben Ruin.
Van Ruin.
Jacob.
Full forward. Yeah, I'm not very good with names.
No,
as we
we've
knew last week.
worked
Did you
that
go
out.
with Ben then?
I think I did.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah. Just went
Jacob
with it.
Ben Ruin.
Anyway, Ben Ruin. He was a fucking good player, isn't he? Is this his first season?
I think it is, yeah. And again, hindsight's a beautiful thing. He was talked about playing Friday night in a debut game.
Yeah.
You watch that, and it's a different beast, VFL to AFL, but the Casey forward line of Wiedemann, Van Ruin, also known as Ben Ruin.
Yep.
Mitch Brown, who's been around forever.
Yep.
And I'll miss Tom McDonald was playing. Their Casey forward line was probably, you pick them up from the VFL and put them in the AFL on Friday night, and they
Do the same thing.
may have a bigger impact, as to what level they have at that level.
Well, I'm loving the new VFL comp. Just purely, I didn't think we'd spend this much time on it, but like you can be watching a game. Like Mitch Robinson was running around for Brisbane, Matheson. Like you're watching really good players in the good teams playing. Like it's great. It's really good. Anyway, Horse Teeth, what did you do? Hey, I've got here. It says Horse Teeth had a spot on Channel 7.
Oh, yeah, I've got a Brownlow segment. Yeah.
What were you doing?
They've done this one Brownlow
this is
vote
good.
segment. It's pretty funny. And,
Yeah.
so they've called me up and said, do you want to come take the piss out of yourself? And I said, no worries. So you're going to see on Brownlow.
So when's this? What do you? It's on Brownlow night.
On Brownlow night, and they previewed it Saturday night. I think they
Is that
did
what
it
I
live.
sent through? Was that what that was?
Yeah. So it's literally just reviewing your one Brownlow vote.
So
and
you've
going
had
back-
one vote, have you?
I've had one, yeah.
Oh my God, that's
so I went
good.
back through it and it's pretty funny. Just take the piss. I think Xavier Ellis will feature as well, and maybe one of the Selwood boys got one as well.
One
so yeah, it's a
vote.
little sneak preview
That's
for the
good.
Dylan
T.
Friends
Sheridan.
listeners. But yeah, mate, it's a good laugh. Like it was different going in there and talking,
That's great.
talking
It was
about
in
it.
the
I can't
game.
remember much of it. To
It
be
was in
honest.
the game. I think we were 0-10 in the
Yeah.
season, and we won our first game for the year off the back of Sheridan fulfilling his
Yeah, literally. And
potential.
and the reason it
What'd
was
you have? Talk us through the stats.
30-1.
Okay.
Yeah,
On the wing.
Yeah, on the wing. It was against Essendon seconds, the top ups, because I didn't say that on the segment, but I think they've all been done with
you had Mark
peptides. and-
Jamar playing on you on a wing.
I think I had Ryan Crowley on me with one leg playing in the Essendon team. But
That's so
so
good.
yeah, we were 0-10. So we were minor premiers the year before,
Yeah.
and then we were 0-10. So that's why it was such a big game, and big time players had to stand up.
That's fantastic,
So they
Shane.
said, "Do you remember?" I said, "I actually do."
Quite well, actually.
Because it was the week that, remember I organised double denim? I said, everyone boys, double denim.
Ross has said.
No, it wasn't him. I think it was the GM or the CEO, crack the shit. So who do you think you are sending messages to the players without our permission, I said, calm down, would you? Anyway, I copped it. He goes, well, we're 0-10. Imagine all the boys. It was for like a charity thing. I'm like, well, it's for anyway, long story short, I copped it. Like, mate, who do you think you are sending all these messages through the admin lady to the boys? And I'm like, it's fucking just it's literally for charity, just to get everyone in and have some fun with it. We're 0-10. Everyone's depressed.
Yeah.
So then I was copping it all week. So yeah, come out and got the one Brownlow vote. So stick it back up the chair.
That's
Like 4
so
months
good.
later. Yeah, you remember that?
We could have a
so-
segment a week on Sheridan stories up
Yeah.
at Fremantle, I think. Some won't be said. Reviewing last week's games, Melbourne, Brisbane. Fuck me, that was a good game. Did you boys? I'm sure you watched this one.
Yeah, watched it. First quarter, I think like everyone, I thought, how much is
Yeah.
Melbourne going to win by?
Like the last 2 times they played.
And if they turn their 3-8 into 8-3, that's game over from there, isn't it? 8-3 to 3 or 4 points.
You wonder if Brisbane, they don't have that at belief anymore at half time.
Yeah, I think and you could tell like the more points they were kicking, they were piling up. That pressure just gets absorbed by Melbourne, and Brisbane probably just release the shackles and say they've kept us in it, so let's swing the club.
Oh, when I was watching it, I sort of thought during that second quarter when they were up by that much that Melbourne just thought they'd already won it.
They parked the bus.
I
a bit,
reckon,
you
no,
reckon?
not park. I just think they just thought it was going to take care of itself. Which
Yeah.
in good teams, you normally have that belief that it does. But Brisbane just didn't give up. It was seriously impressive. And I think we're over. I know it's been very reported of the history of it, but haven't won in the MCG since 2014. And nearly Melbourne's bogey side. They just come out and smoke them every time they play.
Without Joe Danaher.
Joe Danaher
laid
comes out,
Like
laid out.
McInerney not playing in the ruck.
Mackinnon not playing. You got Darcy Fort, who he's one of my favourite players now.
Oh, how good was he?
Jared Berry had 3 touches to half time, comes out, nearly wins them the game. And even like the Zorko, thing that had happened a couple weeks prior, like it was genuinely it was theatre.
And Hitwood, like you think,
Errol.
how's he going to go? Yeah, how's he going to go without Joey there? He gets one of the better defenders now. Jeez, he was unbelievable.
So how does that go when they all come back together?
I was just
like
thinking that.
That makes them bloody tall. Like you think McInerney and Joey. What's Joey? 200?
I think
Easy.
I think this week, and probably against a couple of the horse against Geelong, just try and beat them in the air, like against the
Kick it
the
in
backs.
long.
Yeah, I think Geelong are 3 or 4 goal better side, but if you can get them, one of them might stand up, 2 of them might just be too big and too strong. Stewart's going to have to absorb one of them. All of that.
Dumb question, but does Joe Dano just come straight back in then?
Yeah, I would have thought.
I agree, but it's just crazy to think how well.
He won on the game the week before.
Exactly, yeah.
Does Berry get a week and then he comes in and they don't have to drop anyone and they just make a few moves?
If that was like, I hope Berry doesn't get done for that. And our mate BT, I would have a word with him after this. Like, what was he doing?
Don't linger.
He's reporting about it on the telecast.
Oh, was he?
He's throwing back. I said, BT, Brian, please just just sweep this under the rug. Hodgie was like about to kill him. He's like, mate, this is
'cause
finals. Just let it play. Like. Fuck, I hope he doesn't get done. But if that's Toby nearly goes to jail for that.
Well, he got away with it once in that elimination final.
Against
Bond.
Lockie, nah.
That was an accident.
No, he didn't get done against Bond, and then went back and re-offended
Yeah.
in the semi,
Can't do it
cost him the
twice. Something like that.
prelim.
So you're saying you can eye gouge once, but not
You
twice?
get one
Okay.
chance.
Well, then Berry should be fine.
Yeah.
If that's
What's the go though?
precedent.
He's just thrown the finger, like he's just done the finger. Nothing's really happened.
Well, it didn't look good at all. But when you look at it, he's got his head. He's not actually looking at him. It's
Yeah.
like he's nearly just saying, "Just get off me."
Pulling his, he's like scraping
Yeah.
his hand part, like pull. Yeah,
Anything looks bad in slow motion as well.
no.
Fuck, like it is what it is.
What did you
It's
make
such
of Cam Rayner's old man in the rooms post?
That was one of the funniest things.
What did you make
I'm
of
pretty
that?
sure he said, "Get a dog up." I'm pretty sure that was.
Apparently does it every week, they reckon.
That
and
was quite
he's
unbelievable.
In the middle, mate, it was unbelievable.
You know those rooms, like when the families come in, they're behind literally like jail bars.
Yeah,
How
he's
did
just
he get
walked
over?
in. Yeah, he's just walked straight in.
How he must have walked in with the team because it's hard to get. You can't get past the viewing area.
The
No.
good clubs, they just let them in. They do. They just come on and we're all a family. That's what I.
No one lets in more than the Giants.
the
It was
Giants.
mayhem in there after a game. My God, there
mayhem.
were some people in
No
there.
one does it better than the Giants. But yeah, it's great to see the old man just getting up and about. It was a fucking big win. Imagine being the old man of your son going to a prelim after what they did after half time.
Huge. A couple notes here. Darcy Fort, we said, absolutely huge factor. McCluggage, love that kid.
Rolls Royce, that kid.
Yeah, Jared Berry was unbelievable. Like if I've had 3 at half time, you'd nearly just take me off and let me go. Like to come back and
Sub
then
him.
and then just do what he did. Like watching him and Oliver go against each other was absolutely crazy.
What
that
about
hecticness.
another bloke that Brett looks after? Your man.
Zach Bailey?
Zachy Bailey.
Oh, I want to make
He
out
is.
that
Clutch
If
in the
there's a
last
big
quarter.
game, if it's a big game,
He
put him
loves
down
it.
for 2, and if he plays a bit more midfield, 25. But he's just playing a bit more forward at the moment. He is so clutch.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
He just always pops
I
up
know.
when you need him.
If I was
Keeps
a
his
club,
feet
like,
clean.
If I was a club, I don't know who it is, but you'd be going pretty hard at him.
Essendon would be great for. So
Like-
you are managing him. How long is he signed up?
Yeah, and looking to extend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then-
They want to keep him there,
Oh,
mate,
yeah,
because they
100%.
can see it. Because
Oh
he's
yeah, he's a gun.
yeah,
He's a
game,
first-round
he's a
pick,
game
isn't he?
changer.
Pick 15, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah, early-ish
Early-
pick.
early-ish.
Because it was funny. I used to play against him in the NEFL a bit when he was like a young bloke. And
Really?
I thought he was sort of old, going like, "Who's this academy kid?" Not realising
gonna
how
be
good he
one of
was, like how good he was going to be. Daniel Rich as well. Sam is highlighted this one. He wants to let him know how good he was. 30 touches. Like he is very important to them when he's playing.
They're
25
quick
kicks.
to, and again, I'll probably jump in this a bit as well. People are quick to, veterans of his age, as soon as they play 1 or 2 bad games,
Oh.
it's quickly you're done. Because he had 1 or 2 games, I reckon, recently where he's shown up on the spread and the speed. I think it might have been against Melbourne. But yeah, he's bounced back. Big game. And you need that maturity and experience. You see the maturity and experience of the Collingwood players like Pendlebury and Sidebottom being game changers in finals. I think Daniel Rich is as good as any.
Yeah.
For
I say this
for that
respectfully as well. We need to get better at realising in the modern game that not every player is going to be the one that goes back with a flight or does this big tackle. Some of them just have elite skills, and that's what you need them for. Like
back their strengths in.
back your strengths. And I think we've got the stage with Rich where you're like, you're not expecting him to do those sort of things, but just fucking give him the ball, and he will. Like there was one play there where he's very good with a long kick, but he pulled that one short. I think he pulled one real short, hit Neil.
Yeah.
They got the overlap, end up kicking like this incredible goal, and I was like, he's just so smart. You just got to embrace it, let him do what he wants to do.
He's
Draw-
the quarterback. I love
He's
the
a quarterback.
NFL. He's the quarterback. Yeah, give him the ball, kick ins, and then he just goes boom.
Yeah.
He's got a massive.
He's your Bob Brady, isn't he?
He's your Bob Brady.
Yeah, he's great. On that as well.
Can we mention Lockie Neal? Because he was. Oh, you got him on your.
No, you go. Take it.
Just there's a ground ball. It's obviously. I think.
Oh
they put
my
it
God, that was fun.
It's like you got Petrarca, you got Oliver, and you got Lockie Neal, and I don't think you can go any harder, any quicker, and he couldn't be any cleaner.
How do you even get the handball out?
And then he's spinning because he's gone that hard, and he still gets it, laces it out, and that was a bit of a moment where you're like, that might be. You know,
I reckon there was a bloody great ground ball, but even the point, and it's not as glamorous at all, but Jared Berry, they know each other very well. Watch him just kind of come back and get to the chest of Lockie Neal.
Knew where to come.
Knew where to go. He goes, I'm just going to pop here and know that he's going to get it to me. That connection between teammates is
Mick's got his pre-season sorted now for a bit of vision. He's just
close.
like, you know, boys, this is how you get in the
your
beat.
chest, don't piss off. You know, hey, the more you go to,
First gear.
the more you
They
get.
come. Yeah.
Oh, don't
Diesel
worry.
wheels.
I didn't get too many miles. Painting the fences, we should say. Painting the fence on the wing for blokes like you, playing on no one.
Last one, Mick. You're a senior coach. Heartbreaking the other night because I always feel like this probably would have been me if I was playing that game. Like you look at Jake Lever come in, who was nearly keeping the game alive for Melbourne. Like he was so important, contested marks, laid like so many big tackles. Has that brain fade at the end. I think there was a minute 20 to go. They're down by 7 points.
A lot had to go right.
Yeah, a lot had to go right, but it was. It was.
I think
scary.
it's the old credits and withdrawals with someone like Jake Lever. He's got a lot of credits with
100%.
what he's done and how he's got that club to where they are now and have been last year. So, yeah, probably should have given the ball back, but I think the game was over anyway.
What was he thinking though? Like you can't
Did a
just,
little jig, didn't he?
You can't just let it go when you're being tackled, big fella. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing they got back in it. I think they kicked 3 or 2 in a row, Melbourne. It was like Brisbane were up by 20 points, and then Melbourne went bang, bang. You went, hang on a second, there's actually still a pulse, and then that happened.
But even their goals, and this is just the incredible part of that game. They had like 3 goals. I think they were all set shots on like 45-degree angles, which they're fucking hard to kick.
Like Charlie's goal.
Charlie's goal. McStay kicked one. I think Lockie. Who was it? Was it? I can't remember who else it was, but they all kicked like 45-degree angle goals on the big stage.
Zach Bailey kicked one.
Yeah, Zach Bailey. Like they were just bombing them. I was
What
like,
about Hibwood's last play? Like, so you got one-on-one with, I think it might have been
with Lever?
It was Lever, was it? So one-on-one, 2 guns going at it, but he's not the strongest guy. He's not only just won the contest, he takes 2 bounces down the wing as your key forward, and then literally you got Charlie Cameron, wide receiver, one out the back, sprinting.
So good.
The ball has to be laced. He's put it on like literally on the line, and he's hit. Poor bloody our man, Hibbo, he can't do much else. He's forced him wide.
You can't stop that.
He can't stop it. And then Charlie goes back and kicks it. That was one of the most elite
So that was a
plays.
pass, was it?
That was a pass.
I don't think that was
I'm
a pass.
probably
It floated.
challenging
It
that.
Do you reckon
definitely
he was having
floated.
a shot?
Nah, he was putting it to the goal square, I reckon, just to let him run onto it.
That's what I reckon.
Kick of the glass.
I thought he was kicking it to advantage.
Nah, it floated.
Oh, geez,
a
it
lot.
was a perfect
I reckon
kick.
if it was going to where he wanted it to go, I reckon
Would've
he would
been
probably
Penrose.
close it
Hibbo
down.
would have got a fist in.
Hibbo's pretty quick. Very quick, isn't he?
Oh, yeah,
But it
well,
actually curled away from him and
He gave him
Right
like a
side.
meter, but that's what I was saying. The kick was just, whether he meant it or not, I thought he did. Whether
Give
he
him the
meant it
benefit
or
of the
not,
doubt,
it was
yeah.
one of the most perfect kicks to advantage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, clutch finish.
Collingwood Freo, you boys were there.
Yep.
What happened?
Well, I think what Mick said earlier, it was just Collingwood
they're
opened the
too good.
game right up real early. I've never seen so many running bounces in that first half. Geordie to Goey, Jack Crisp just opened the game right up. And I thought that was going to be Freo's strong suit. Tighten the game up, make it really congested and whatever else. But Collingwood just like, no, we're not going to wait around for you to set up. We're going. And they took the game on and it paid dividends for them. So, yeah, well done to the coaching staff, but the players for executing.
it was like what in our position, we were just up behind the goals pretty much.
On the glass, weren't we,
We
Mick?
were behind the glass. We were really enjoying ourselves up there.
Who was there?
Jeez,
We
we were
talking
optimistic
Pav?
about Freo before the game to the Freo faithful.
Oh,
So you
gee,
can't lose this.
I lied to
anyway.
them.
It was like a whirlpool. You know the old whirlpools at the school, at the pools you go to? You know, you can jump in and they'd just... Freo would kind of slowly bring the ball around.
It was too
and
sideways,
it'd kind
wasn't
of they'd finally get to half forward, and that's where, or half forward or wing, and they'd turn it over, and the first movement from the Pies was bang corridor, and then it was just like
Sprint.
the 3-man weave towards goal. It was frightening.
They've got a great game. Freo, guess how many inside 50s they had in the first quarter?
Oh, I don't know. How many?
14. So they actually
Yes.
played well.
Wow.
They couldn't score. They
14.
got 1
But
point.
they had
Yeah,
19 to half time.
They had 1 point at quarter time for 14 entries, right? So that's amazing defence. And then the second quarter, the Pies smoked them. They kicked 2 goals, 6 though. They missed sitters. So it could have been all over at half, which it kind of was, but they could have just, but there was still a pulse because they kept missing. And then you thought, well, is Freo going to change something up? But Pies are just too good.
Did you want to maybe speak to your mate, Griff Logue, just tell him to just man up Darcy Moore?
Well, he kicked 2. I just thought, I'm not going to tell the head coach.
You're telling Longmuir what to do.
I just
so
wish.
I'm sort of saying, do you text Longmuir and say, yeah, maybe
I just
tell
thought they
Griff
needed
to just-
Tabernar. Tabernar should have played.
Yeah.
That was his
Was
role.
he ready?
He
Well,
played seconds yesterday.
waffle yesterday.
He could have just done a role. He would have been. And the reason is, I thought maybe he wasn't ready because his fitness, because he has missed a bit with his calf. But you got the sub Bailey Banfield. You just bring him on.
No,
and
I
go
must
back
admit,
to plan B.
Griff was actually very good. Jeez, he's got a good
Who
leg
played
on
on
as well.
Howie then? Because he had 15 touches, 13 of them intercepts.
You go into the game and it's an easy one in the stands, but you think Howe and
It's a
Moore just
shocking
put him to
rule.
sleep,
Yeah.
and then everything else from there, let's just scrap and
But how,
fight.
how do you put him to sleep? You have
Well, you put
forwards.
maybe you put someone on him.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
but you
I
gotta
think
have-
Then you lose your structure.
You got to have someone on him, a threat, and then you got to have a midfield that actually lowers their eyes and hits them. Because otherwise,
Well, they lowered their eyes, but they just couldn't hit the low target. They kicked it over their head. I don't know how many times.
Talk to us about, you were there. Do you feel about, you've probably played in some big atmosphere games probably for Richmond and
yeah, me and Brett.
whatnot, but I've never experienced anything like the atmosphere that was there on Saturday
Well, I
night.
experienced that, but the opposite end of it with the 90. So I was a Fremantle player essentially with the Giants in that prelim against the Tigers.
Yeah.
94,000. We only had maybe 2,000,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was
Family
kick
and
a goal,
friends.
and it's like you can hear yourself because it's just death quiet.
The Orange Man. It's a good feeling though when you can put a 95,000
To sleep.
crowd to sleep.
Yeah,
I've
but
never
you're
done it
right.
personally,
It's
but-
great experience.
Probably
for
better
them.
to kick one for the 95,000 though, I reckon.
Yeah, when
to
Ginnivan
feel
kicks
nicer.
when Ginnivan kicks the first
Yeah.
goal, it was loud. That was real loud.
But we were still behind the glass, so we didn't get the full.
I know.
What about when he got that free kick? Did you notice how big the cheer was when he actually got that first high free kick?
Yeah. I watched the game with a few of our mates, and I was watching here with Toby and Jake, and Toby Green. He wouldn't mind me saying this. Toby Green has a man crush on Lockie Schultz.
Schultz?
He absolutely loves him, and Schultz, he was best on for
Shooters,
Fremantle
yeah, he's a good
easily.
man.
He
Effort.
just had heart and soul, doesn't he?
so
Like, he
much
doesn't
effort.
give up.
Just
He nearly
has a
kicked
crack.
three. Nearly kicked 3 in a row.
Gave a couple off.
Kicked
Yeah.
2. I think he's the only one that kicked a goal at half time.
Yeah.
He kicked 2.
He kicked. Yeah, I think would he end up with 2 because he missed one as well. I
Yeah,
think
but he
kicked 2
gave
goals,
one straight
But
off.
he kicked
Yeah.
2 like important ones early. Yeah, he's a gun. You get
Loves
everything.
him.
Like he just workhorse, works that hard. Good small forward. But yeah, just they needed more.
And I think the game was summed up in a game of mentality, right? Collingwood would have been wound up like a bottle top after a close loss the week before. And the pressure on, can't go out the straight sets, all this on edge. Freo, as much as they'd like to say they probably weren't content with that big victory against the Dogs and coming from behind. And the first 15 minutes and the second quarter just showed they had no juice. And Collingwood had all the juice.
I just wish Freo got to a better start with 14 entries and 1 point. They lose the game by 20 points. I know there's a few junk time, but still 20 points. That was pretty much the difference at quarter time. So once that happened, you thought, geez, it's going to be hard in front of 90,000 to turn that around. Brisbane did, but a bit different when you're playing the Pies.
And give a shout out to our man who hung him up on the,
And
on the
David
weekend.
Munn.
Oh, big Barra.
That was special.
Yeah.
He's a Max Sports boy, would you believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has been for
I
20
would,
years.
I would actually, Mick.
Yeah.
I would believe that.
What
What's
a
the
man.
commission?
I know, what is the commission? 376 games. Max Sports, you got the high rise in the city or something, wouldn't you?
Penthouse, yeah.
Penthouse just off Dave Bundy.
Just off Dave.
There is some. We haven't got it, but in that WhatsApp.
Yeah, there was a good footage there,
I think
yeah.
there might have been at a pub
Just
last
visualise
night.
these 35 blokes at a pub, Dave Mundy on the shoulders and just sculling
Sculling a
and
beer.
the boys chanting his name. I mean,
We might try and get it for
Yeah, I think we
for the
should.
screen.
I think we
And
should.
I don't think we'd be betraying too much trust there either.
I don't think we'll be able to leak that one, but just visualise
But it
that.
wasn't even just the Freo boys. It was like they were at a public bar.
Oh, nice.
So there was some random punters around, and I don't even know what said, but Barrow, who's quite modest and humble and introverted,
pretty
he's on
quiet,
the shoulder.
He's loving it.
Yeah, he's
Good
up and
on him.
about.
Why not?
Friday night, Brisbane, Geelong, Brisbane.
Yep.
Who wins and why?
I think the Cats have been the best team in it all year, haven't they? They're the ones to beat at the moment. But I like the energy and the passion that I think the Lions are playing with. They've almost got a bit of chip on their shoulder. And I liken it a little bit to the Giants in 2019. They have to go around it a long way, got wound up by Leon and come through and try and fight their way. I think the Lions are doing a bit of that as well. It's like everyone's against us. We haven't really performed yet in finals. So good that they've got 2 wins now. Broke that hoodoo at the MCG. I just think it's a bridge too far to get across the Cats.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, it hurts. 2 teams I've tipped pretty much. I've tipped Brizzy at the start of the year, and then I think Geelong will win it. I think the Cats are going to have too much class and a bit fresher as well. I know they've had the week off, but that was a physical game last week. And if Berry does go, I hope he doesn't. I want him to play, but if he does, you lose a mid. You got 2 blokes that come in that haven't had a game for a week. They'll be fresh, but I think the Cats will be too strong all over the ground.
Yeah, concur. I think the Cats as well didn't play it well against Collingwood and found a way. I think they would have reviewed that, and it sounds a bit boring. They probably would have reviewed that pretty hard. I mean, like, we've got through, and these are the areas of a game we need to improve. And like Brett said, I think they just got the class edge kind of across, in particular, their forward line.
Front half, yeah.
In their front half, if we get it in there enough, Cats, we're going to, if it's not Cameron, it's Hawkins going to kill you. If it's not Hawkins, you got Stengel and close at ground level as well.
Yep. No, I agree with all. I concur. But the only thing that I've noticed that's so prevalent and exciting, this isn't breaking any news, but like how important it is for those interstate teams to finish in the top 4.
Yep.
Like, you look at Brisbane, they're going to come back
100%.
to the MCG 3 weeks in a row, got to go home, come back. You look at Sydney now, who
Sat at home.
they've been chilling out.
Yeah.
They've had a week off, and they're playing their prelim at the SCG. It's absolutely massive.
Freo-
And they nearly play. If Brisbane play again, they have to cut. Like, it's just such a long road to get it
Freo
done.
had plans to stay in Melbourne if they won and then fly to Sydney, which, I've never heard of that before. So that's
right.
because of travel. They wouldn't
Yeah.
go home and come straight back or go to Sydney. It's a long flight. So they were going to stay if they won. So, yeah, it's a lot of travel and it's hard outside the 4.
Again, preempting, but Brisbane, the 2019 Giants came from 6th or 7th, didn't they?
Yeah, we played this. Yeah, we were 6th.
Yes.
Yeah, and not to say that if Brisbane make it, they're going to fall off a cliff.
That's
But
what
you're
I'm
right.
saying.
You have to do.
You're tied at the
You're
end.
up for that first home final.
The war of
No
nutrition,
worries.
boys.
The war of nutrition. That's where it comes
They
back to
will-
your breakfast. And if you're
Comes down to
eating
your
well,
breakfast.
and if you're eating well, you're fine.
Who has the better breakfast? But it's going to be. It'll drain them.
Yeah,
but
well,
they're going to have
Giants
to
nearly
keep going to the well.
played the grand final the week before against Collingwood, and then you get there and you're like, you're nearly cooked. It's hard to keep sustaining it. So I think Geelong win it. So excited. I always like to think, when I think of these games, nostalgically like to think back of a heroic game of Geelong versus Brisbane.
Okay.
Does one stick out to you? There's a very famous one.
Yeah,
Our
there
mate
is,
Dawson
yeah.
Simpson actually played
There's
a big
goal
role
after
in
the siren?
Yeah, Ash
or around-
McGrath
Yeah.
kicking the guy after
The
the
big
siren.
torpy?
I've heard this story from Dawson Simpson from the horse's mouth around that game about, because I think they had the ball, they're up. He was on the wing, decided to play on, I think, when everyone, you come back and take 30 seconds. And I think he
Tried to bite one off.
I think he was a ruckman that tried to play on and just
Big
bomb
Dawson.
it
Big
and end
Dawson.
up unfortunately losing the game for Geelong. But that game sticks out a lot.
The old scenarios. You'd think by now they know the scenarios, and if you're up by a point, kick it wide, take some time off the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna. Do you think it'll be close? I think because what Brisbane did on the week, I can't believe what they did.
They have a lot of belief now.
Yeah, a lot of belief. So, do you think it's going to be a real close one?
I think they've got enough talent, right? If like happened on the weekend, if a team gets away, all they need is 15 minutes from Bailey and Rayner and
Charlie Cameron.
Yeah, Lockie Neal to keep going. Like, they only need kind of 15 minutes to actually put it on the scoreboard and actually tighten it up, make the opposition squeeze up a bit, and away they go.
I reckon if Brisbane can get on the board early and then put doubts in the Cats' mind, because they've failed in first quarters, I reckon, through final series in the past, that's where they can really clamp it and say, well, now our belief is right here and we're right behind this. But if they can't do that,
Will they tag? They'll have to tag Lockie Neal.
That's what you said.
Yeah,
Who's
who
more
goes,
important? Who's more important for which team?
think-
Lockie Neal for Brisbane or Tom Stewart for Geelong?
I think to who tag? I would do Tom Atkins to Neal
I love Tom Atkins.
and kind of make it a bit of a
yeah, I like that.
war.
Of Lockie's had a history with
Attrition.
Yeah,
Mark
Between
O'Connor
the two of them.
O'Connor's done a good job on him before.
once, I reckon. He did
Once
one
in-
real good
in
job
Brisbane,
and then
wasn't
He would
it?
have to come into the 22 though.
Oh, so he's out of the 10.
But Graham Myers, I reckon, might be on the edge. There's all of that, but I would like, if you bring O'Connor into tag, this is the coaching, and people might get bored of this, but you bring O'Connor into tag, you lose minutes from Selwood and Dangerfield out of the midfield, and maybe Atkins. So you rob Peter to pay Paul. Guthrie. Blitzarves goes through there.
You wouldn't do it. You don't change your game plan on prelim week, would you? You just stick to what you know. Lockie Neal's the best player. Get to him.
I would, Atkins to Neal as much as you can. Not a full-blown tag, but
yeah,
look
he's a little
after him.
tackling little fox terrier, isn't he? He loves it. So I reckon he's a perfect little fit for it.
I love him. He's one of my favourite players at the moment for sure. What do you do with Tom Stewart then? Do you play defensive forward on him? Do you
Who's their
try
defensive forward though? Like they're all,
He might play tall. He might play on like a Hipwood and roll
or a
off.
McStay.
Yeah.
I reckon he's more of a McStay
McStay's
type
up
matchup.
up the ground though.
And they got Jack Henry down there as well.
Yeah,
Collar Jasny, is he in the team at the moment? Or out?
Yeah.
he hurt himself in that.
He did hurt his knee. but is he right now with the extra week off?
Jeez.
Not sure.
There's a few moving parts for Geelong.
There is. You don't want to get dropped in prelim week. I mean, you boys
Jez
been
hasn't
there before,
trained.
boys?
Jez hasn't trained.
Hasn't trained for the last 2 sessions they've
they've
done
just
pretty
been
much.
playing.
Has he been fishing? And
Yeah.
I love his Instagram.
It's just,
and
no,
then
it's been
jumping in
light
the dam
fires.
or-
That's all he's been doing.
There is.
Lots
Yeah.
of
Just has
fires.
a bonfire, plays golf.
Would have he watched
Jumps in his
would have
dam.
he watched any of the prelims?
Yeah,
over
he
the
studied
weekend?
them all. Yeah,
Oh, mate,
he
all
was
he
studying
needs-
every minute.
All he needs to do is just go out there, have his 15 lattes before the game,
Yeah.
and just kick the ball. He kicks the ball from any angle. That goal he kicked against the crowd
so
last, that
good.
made me so happy. They're all ripping into him, and you
so
could just
good.
see like everyone in his ear, and he's just slotted it right in front of him, like 90,000.
Did you see that bit of vision of him when they're playing North and Apple's core come
Oh,
over and
the
shoved him,
best.
and he's just like,
Straight to
50.
It's like he's at training, wasn't
It
it?
just made me
I've
laugh.
never seen a bloke have more fun out there. Than
Yeah,
him. Like
it just
he
looks
just
like
looks
he's
like
enjoying
he's
it.
taking the piss,
Oh,
which is
so good.
ridiculous. Anything else on that game? Do we need to?
Nah, that's all I've got. It's gonna be, they're very well balanced.
Yeah.
The spines they're all going to have a nice role, so it'll probably come down to that midfield.
Huge game. Very excited. Sydney Collingwood at the SCG. Last game they played up there against each other. The Swans pumped them.
Yeah, we interviewed Howie after the game on the weekend, and he said, "No, we played them not that long ago. Learn a few things, so expect them to be a little bit more prepared, or a lot more prepared." But
Who's Howie? Sorry, for those who don't know, I know who you're talking about.
Jeremy Howe
Jeremy Howe.
Yeah.
of course.
plays for the Pies, pretty good player.
Yep.
Yes.
So, Howie. I was just like,
Howie
I've never heard
Games.
him. Howie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know who that is.
A few Howies in the.
What else do you call him?
I don't know. To be
Jez.
honest. I thought Howie was like a senior, an assistant coach or something, and I was like,
No,
move on.
Jeremy Howe. Anyway, he plays for Pies.
And I love how you said, obviously, I know who he is.
A few listeners out there might not know. You know?
yeah.
Including myself.
One of my favourite players as well, actually.
Yeah. So
Got
I
any
expect him to
favourites? Are there
be.
any favourites?
Yeah,
you
no,
got,
you got to
you know, get your list together. Like the top
Yeah,
100.
You know what he's doing? He's just preparing the podcast.
Yeah.
Otherwise he
Jez
can pick
Howe.
up.
He'd be shocking at match committee.
He's the best.
I reckon we play him. Yeah, I like him. He does his
Oh,
stuff.
mate, I'm
Who's
the
he
best
going in for?
assistant coach ever. I'd never be a senior coach. So I wouldn't want to tell blokes the honest feedback. I just walk around to all the twos blokes. Mate, I was trying to get you in this week. I was trying my hardest, and then I walk into this and I'm like, fuck that bloke. He's not playing at all.
Tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
So who's winning, Brett?
I'm on the Pies bandwagon. I think they can.
all the way.
Just with their the role that they're on, and because they've won so many close games, I just like what they're doing. I love Sydney as well. They're young and energetic, and they play an exciting brand. But that's sort of the Pies, you know. And I, up against it, size wise, I reckon defensively most weeks, but get the job done. Howie's the one of the main culprits
Jeremy.
there. Braden Maynard, Nathan
I love
Murphy's
Maynard.
he's
He's one
having a
of my
great.
He's good.
He's having a great year as well.
Yeah.
Nathan Murphy's the old one at the one at the moment where 95,000 will be there on the weekend and be like, who's number 28?
No,
I
know what you mean.
With
I know.
all due respect.
Yeah, you got
With
to
all
say
due
that
respect.
before you.
But he's,
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
do you know why I said that? Because I was sitting
With all
there
due respect.
watching the game with Tom. He goes, 28 just does his job, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He goes, I don't know his name.
He's tough as nails. He's tough as
Couldn't
nails.
see it. It
Murphy.
was behind glass.
Yeah.
He's frosting up.
I'm trying to think who I'm going to tip. I like home prelims. I think the crowd, but it's not going to be that loud.
I reckon it'll be 50-50. I'm not even joking. That'd be Collingwood supporters.
You
will
see
be
the
up there.
flights? They've put the flight. Of course
Yeah,
they have.
yeah.
About $1,000 a pop just up there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Nah,
You'd be
they'll-
driving up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, jump in the Jeep, which actually, how are you?
Oh, I need to just see. You get a few emails there. I don't think it's been registered from WA. Got to pay
Better
us.
return the
July.
plates.
Oh, just another invoice. How we going? You paying us for this gig today?
We'll chat about it later.
How are we going?
Sorry, back on task. I'm thinking about the matchups. Collingwood's backline is so good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to tip. If I was tipping, I'd tip Sydney.
Okay.
I think
This will be the closest game. This will be a close
this
one.
could
I
be
think
game
what I
of the
saw from that pop and run from the halfback of Collingwood on the weekend, it's a different beast. Freo's forward line compared to our man Errol Goulden,
Yes.
Papley, Will Hayward, who made articulate last
Yes.
time.
Kick
Like,
two, I think.
they're a different kettle of fish, like at ground level for these guys to probably think, I'm going to go offensively rather than have
And
to
in the
defend.
air, it's not like they got, the Freo had Jai Amos, second or third game,
Yeah.
Griff Logs of defender playing forward, and Rory Lobb.
You got a bit more experience.
You got
Buddy Franklin
you
has
got
played a fair bit of footy.
Buddy, Reed, the other bloke.
McDonald.
Yep, there's a lot of, and then there's someone else we're missing.
I think Sydney win by 4 goals.
Yep.
you can have 4.
Yeah.
Goals.
I go 13 points.
One thing we haven't mentioned or spoke about in this pod, and this is the insight that I give because I just think outside the box. I don't just listen to SEN and sort of recycle what they say. Is the amount, the difference of playing the SCG versus the MCG is immense, and the knowledge that the Swans have of playing there, like the shallow pockets, it's a quick ground. Like, I just don't think Collingwood will be able to play the same game as they always play. Swans are so much well versed at that ground, which is why it is so important to get those home prelims. Mick Moldhouse, former coach, always said, and this is, a lot of public would know this, but it's so much easier to go from playing on a smaller ground to a bigger ground, but it's very hard to go from playing to a bigger ground every week to a smaller ground.
You look around, there's no space.
There's no space.
Yeah.
So you always see, when we used to play up at the SCG, like Carlton or Giants, you have to play that ground differently. Like, you can't kick the wide switches because there's no ground. A lot of kicks will be out on the full. You've got to get deep entries from the centre bounce a lot further down. Look, I know Collingwood will know all that stuff already, but it is so different.
If they don't, though, you've just helped Craig McRae big time.
There you go, Fly. Yeah, it's a different ground.
Well, you should be on their match committee for sure.
Well, I've thought that as well, but
I think if they bomb it in, then the McCartan boys will just have a field day. Rampy, Fox, they're all capable of dropping off and taking intercept marks. But Collingwood's not a bomb team, essentially, I don't think, because they're not very big down there. So they will lower their eyes and they'll try and charge to the middle of the ground like they did on the weekend.
Just on this, I haven't checked. The last time they played, what were the scores?
Swans pumped, I reckon maybe 40 points, something
No
like that.
to go, though.
No to go.
No to go.
Was it 40 points?
Was it 40 points, Sam?
I don't think it was.
77-50 at Sydney 1 at the SCG.
So there you go, 22 points. Sorry, I exaggerated.
11-11 to 7-8. And Franklin kicked 3. Heaney 2. Heaney's the other guy we didn't mention that's going to be playing forward. He's a star. Yeah, so, could be similar, a bit tighter. Who are you tipping? Have we got
I've
your
got
tip?
the Swans. I'm tipping the Swans.
So
But I reckon it could be. I don't
you go
know.
with Mick?
It could be one of the
went
best
with
games of the
Swans.
year.
Yeah, so we've all
I'm
tipped the
one
Swans,
out.
but we think it'll be close.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
Pies,
going
I
You're
Pies.
Pies, sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if the Pies win. It's just I'm going with the Swans because of that home ground advantage. Boys, been incredible. Last but not least, I've got one for you. I know last week we spoke about trades. I was watching the VFL on the weekend, and I wanted to talk about this for nearly 2 years, and I keep forgetting. I don't care what people say. I understand that players don't get in because of different things, but how Alex Sexton is not playing regular footy at Gold Coast. This bloke's kicked 6 goals in a game before.
His last game.
In his last game of AFL, was it? So he's done it multiple times there because he did it a couple of times
Doesn't
years
miss.
earlier. Doesn't miss. Just lengths above that standard. A team needs to pick him up next year and play. Like, he is a star.
He's
He's
got
a genuine
I think
star.
he's got 2 more years on
So,
contract.
so I don't get this, right? He's got 2 more years. They haven't played him all year. He comes in, he kicks 6. Gold Coast Suns, they miss out by finals by a game. Why
probably other
are
things at
you
play, I
not
would've
fucking
thought.
playing him?
Well, I think
He's good in, like, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying to fit into, he doesn't chase and whatever.
Is that
He
what he
gives
does?
6 goals.
I didn't
It's
say
like-
that. I didn't say
No,
that.
but that's what a
Is that
lot
what
of people
they're
say.
You're
A lot
on
of-
match committee.
Sorry.
Hang on a second.
You say it to his face.
He's a good mate of
Yeah.
mine.
Sorry.
And you're pinning me up saying
sorry.
he doesn't chase.
Mick's going on.
Sorry,
hang on.
With all due respect, Alex,
that
I didn't
again.
say that.
With
Say
all
that
due
again.
respect, Mick, I'm up in heaves about this because I put it on Twitter, and you never get emotional on Twitter, so I had to get off it. But I'm going back into it now.
Doesn't chase.
I've
That's
written
what they said,
here.
Did anyone agree with you?
A lot of people agreed, but so someone commented here. I won't get there at.
Read
but,
their name out.
Okay. There's 2 people. One of them said defensive pressure is the reason why he wasn't a regular, but he's a smart player. Okay, fair enough. There was one more here.
And whilst
that
you're
said-
finding it,
Yes.
I think he's on a 5-yearer. So it might be next year or the year after, but about to have his first baby as well. He's settled on the goal. He's a Gold Coast person or a
He's actually
Queenslander.
Melbourne. He's actually Melbourne born.
or born, but been in Queensland since like all his junior footy.
Yeah.
If he wants opportunity, with Rankin going out, he probably gets more opportunity. But then King comes back in as well as different players, obviously. But he's that in between type. He's not a genuine small, but he's not big enough to be a key. So he's kind of that hybrid forward, which the Suns haven't gone with much at all.
Like a Gunston type.
If you're kicking 6, I
Yeah,
think you need a
I got a club
refresh.
for him.
Yeah.
Adelaide, I think.
There you go.
He could go to Adelaide and play the old Tom Lynch role. You know, the link, meet on the
But,
wing.
like you
turn,
said,
bang.
mate, he's probably on good cash. 2 more years, if that's true.
Living on the Gold Coast.
You live on the Gold Coast, you got a kid on the way, you're not going
He
anywhere.
just built a house on. He just built a house on the.
You're a good manager,
Burley
Tommy.
Waters
It's their
there.
problem. It's their problem. You know what I mean? If you're paying him, play him. If he's performing,
Yeah.
There's
anyone
only
can
22
chase.
spots.
I mean,
He actually
seriously.
speaks a lot of logic.
He does. I like it.
Oh, I got no idea. Why would you pay someone a large amount of money? And
Is it large though? Do you know what he's on?
Nah,
He's on
no,
good
I'm
money.
guessing.
You get,
But I'd
you get a
imagine it's-
5-year.
if you're getting
You'd know if you get a 5-year, it's starting 500 and above.
I would have thought
I
something.
would have probably 600
Well,
above.
you're usually if you're signed a 5 year, you're a consistent
guaranteed to play
player
every week, so you're not on
Yeah.
matches.
Well, they're not guaranteeing you 5 years if you're going to play in the Scooby Doos, are you?
So from a list management point of view, why would you not be playing him?
well, form plays a bit of a part in that too. I would have thought.
But he kicks
Just
goals.
kicks
He
six.
kicks a lot of goals.
He kicked 6 in his last against North Melbourne. But
During the seconds, he'd be kicking bags.
Anyway, we'll see where he goes. I reckon he's got to
Get his
he's
stats
got to
up.
explore.
Have you got a player like that, John, that's not getting a crack at it? I've
Come back to
dumped
me.
that one on you.
Yeah, you've dumped it to me. I haven't
Yeah.
had a look, but I'll think of one.
Yeah. I've got one. It's Sydney Joel Marty. I really like what he does. He's a young key forward. So
They play a bit of pinch hit in the ruck as
yeah,
well.
they take a bit to develop the key forwards, but I've seen some stuff again, lower league level, state league level, where it's just like, wow, this bloke is miles ahead of this, but just can't get that look in at Sydney with their forward line at the moment. But Buddy, towards the end, he might get a look soon.
Love it.
Actually, I've got one just on that Burgess bloke. He'll be on the move, I reckon.
Yeah.
He plays for the Suns seconds.
Yeah.
And I think he's had a real consistent year, but I reckon he'll be on the move somewhere.
It's funny, isn't it, with that? Like, I know the Suns are getting better, but why would you be going and getting players that aren't getting the game in a team that isn't going that well to go play in another team? If you know what I mean? Sometimes I used to think
that's a
that.
good shout.
I'd think like Carlton finishing bottom of the ladder. I remember one year we had Carlton finishing bottom of the ladder, and we had a coach that was maybe going to go to the Gold Coast, and I think they might have finished 18th and we finished 17th, and all the players were like, oh, in the twos, might go with this coach up to the Gold Coast. I'm like, mate, why the fuck would he why the fuck would he be getting 6 blokes from a
our
team
twos?
that's just as shit as the next team he's going to? Like, there's no way we're going up
Drop
there.
some names. I'm thinking, is it like your Daniel Gorringe?
Nick Graham. Nick Graham. He thought he was going to Gold Coast on a 4-year deal. I said, it's not happening. Okay?
Where did he actually go? Is it?
No, we just stayed at the Blues in the twos. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Good player.
So, yeah, it was a funny one. But it was like every player in the team that wasn't getting a game was thinking that they're heading to the Gold Coast next year, which was fantastic. Ignorance is bliss sometimes.
It is.
Anyway, boys, incredible. Friday night, Lidsy's going to be on
ABC, mate.
Unfortunately, ABC Radio. He's just too big for us. That's great. Me, Horse Teeth, Mickey, going to be at Arcadia at 5:30 to 7. It's going to be the eating comp, Rick's giveaway. Use the code Dylan Friends. Bloke in a bar on tap. We absolutely love it. We appreciate it.
Just show him again.
Show him again.
Look how sharp you look in the new Tribeca's.
Future's so bright. I need these. So
Oh, look at the big.
I think we'd all look good in a pair of those. Don't you reckon?
I
Dylan?
reckon we would too.
Yeah.
To be honest, I do need the blue lights.
Yeah.
I do need the blue lights.
sort you out, mate.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
sort
you,
you
mate.
out.
I'll use my own code.
Let's just
Is it his own code?
Hey, when I say
we'll talk about that.
Sort him out. I'll send him a free express.
Jump on
Can't detail.
rixie.com.au.
Yeah, rickseyewear.com.au.
Ricky
Use
Eyewear.
Dylan Friends at checkout, and we will make sure we look after them.
Yeah,
With
and the
free
winner of
expression.
the eating comp next week is going to get a nice
Yeah,
little
we'll bring
nice
some
little
treats
package.
down.
Yeah, we'll bring some treats.
How many wings do you reckon you could eat in 30 minutes?
Oh, I'm not a big eater.
Are they hot wings or just wings?
Just wings, just chicken buffaloes.
And do you reckon, is it going
It's
to be some
annoying,
big
though.
boys or is it just
Well,
going
we've
to be
got
anyone?
2 coming. Dylan and Stuart are locked in.
Yep.
We've got 2 that are tentative, but if you want to get involved, there's still like 1 or 2 spots
I'm happy
left.
to watch, but yeah.
No, I'm not.
No, anyone listening wants to get involved,
yeah, I'll
rock
be
up.
watching.
You can jump on.
Yeah.
We can bring some more prizes down. And Bloke in a Bar, we'll be drinking
They're
that
on tap
the night.
first pub in Melbourne to get it on tap, so we're there to celebrate
So
it.
it's an exclusive.
Exclusive. Get down, have fun, watch a footy, or you can come in, watch a footy, and head to it after. 5:30 to Toorak Road, South Yarra at Arcadia. We're going to be there or be square. If you're not there, you're not around.
That's it.
Wow.
If you're not 5 early, Mick,
Yeah. Not early.
you're 5. You're 5 late. You told me
Get
that
there
one.
early. Get there early. See you
I
on
told him
Friday.
that one. But he used to always walk in at 6:59 and 58 seconds for a 7 o'clock meeting.
Sleep in the eye. Yeah.
Well, what's the point of having it at fucking 7 and everyone's in there at quarter 2?
we
Hey,
used to-
fellas, it's 7 o'clock for a reason, isn't it?
We used to have to do this heart rate thing. He'd walk in with his strap, t-shirt above his head, like sloppy guts out. Anyway, shout out, good on you, trainer.
Yeah,
Good on you, mate. Cheers,
Yeah,
mate.
good on you.
Another good plug from you, Mick. Good on you.